From the eye is the SFL Season 22, Week 5. And we have a good one for you folks. It's between the Florida Storm and the Portland Fleet. Good afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching. Your play-by-play commentator, Ramos Link. Alongside me in the booth is none other than Mr. Mike O'Neill. Big shout-outs go to DR Sim and Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Our producer is Cameron Irvine. And Mike, I'm happy to call a game with you. It's our first one together. It's shaping to probably be. I mean, again, Portland comes in as a big underdog, but in between these games, man, you never know. How you doing? What are your keys for the matchup?
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to call this game with you. We've got a big matchup, and this feels kind of like David versus Goliath a little bit because, Florida's been on a roll this season. Portland, unfortunately, hasn't been able to hit their stride so far. For Portland, it's really going to start early. It's got to be about getting their offense, into a rhythm, finding some of those big receivers like Nelson Lozano. I think he's going to be a huge key for this offense, getting involved in the passing game. And really, you got to balance it out in order to get Ezekiel Love going and everything. Florida, it's just business as usual. So we'll see what happens out on the gridiron.
We'll see what happens indeed. The Florida Storm come in as massive 20.5-point favorites.
Wow.
Over-under is 41.5. So we are looking at a projection of probably a game in the 30-10 range. Let's see if Portland can pull off the shocker as this return from Florida will go past the 20. Breaking a tackle is a return man, and a good one at that, up to the 32-yard line. As we're going to see the Florida offense on the field first, led by Ron Cochran, the quarterback, in his 14th season in the Simulation Football League, a 5-time All-Star, former Offensive Player of the Year in Season 11. He will be also with Charlie Bullet Bileski and Chris Komisak in the backfield. Wide receivers are Stephen Bush, Caleb Giffis, R. Vandelay, and Bobby Tarantino. The tight ends are Varadin Sarkov and Ron Haynes. And in the offensive line, we have William Davidson, Joseph Wade, and Greg McDonaldson. All of them over 5 years in the league, all with the Storm. As we see a man in motion, that's going to be Ron Haynes from right to left. Portland showing off a blitz on the first play of the game. Cochran under center will throw the blitz coming, and the pass is going to be caught to Ron Haynes. A good one at that. Right there, Mike. The pressure came in, and a good quick decision by the quarterback.
Yeah, that was a really good play. It was a great play design from Portland, but even better by Florida, and that shows you why Florida's been so good this season. You got a seasoned veteran at quarterback like that, able to get the ball out quick and recognize a blitz is coming.
Ron Haynes on the speed out became the hot receiver on that one. Good for a gain of about 12 yards and a first down. As we're going to see a toss here to Bullet Bileski, and Bileski on the outside will have some space. Rolls on top of a defender for a gain of about 5 yards. And we'll get to the Portland Fleet defense. The defensive ends are Ricky Phillips and Robert Broer. The defensive tackle is Bubba Bruiser. The linebackers are Lucas Gilbert, Mel Davis, Brody Gulch, and Joseph Lama. The corners are Chris Stock, Derek Majors, Ryan Cook, and Sidney Galloway. And in the safety position, we have Bernard Smith and Leo Morris. Both of them have been an all-star in seasons past. Bernard Smith in Season 20, Leo Morris in Season 18. Man in motion again is one of the tight ends. That's going to be Zarkov in motion. I formation here for Ron Cochran, and he will hand the ball off again. That's Komisak with the handoff, and Komisak breaks a tackle. He's past the 40-yard line of Portland's side of the field and up to about the 37, and a very strong start here for the Florida offense.
Yeah, strong start indeed, and you see that they just run to the strong side there with just a nice little handoff to the running back, and a great tackle by Chris Stock on that. Ultimately, try and do what you can. Obviously, the blocking was good, so there's only so much you can do, but kind of recollect and regroup and get back to it on first down for Portland.
3 wide receivers set and an offset single back here for the Storm. Draw play goes to the running back, that's Bullet Bileski, for a gain of about 9.5. Going to bring up second and inches.
Yeah, they're bringing the pressure, Ramos, off the right side and it nearly getting home every single time, but that time it seems like Florida's just one step ahead of Portland's defense right now.
I formation again, a heavy set 4-4 defense here for Portland. Another handoff goes to Komisak, and he's going to be stopped shy of the first down marker. Actually loses about half a yard. Chris Komisak, a 7-year veteran, all-star in season 20, first year here with Florida. He was very good in Queen City. Had some really good seasons as a fullback. And now, he's still a fullback, but sometimes dots the I as he does on this play. 4-4 defense again. Steven Bush in motion from right to left.
They're running a 3-man front on 3rd and short. It's a little tricky.
Yeah, and Komisak makes them pay right up the middle. A gain of about 4 yards and a first down here for the Storm. You said it. It's a soft box with 3 defensive linemen. And unless you have people blitzing off the A-gap, a run up the middle, especially against a fullback, is tricky to stop.
That's got to be something they correct, Ramos. They've got to be able to blitz those A-gaps in those 3rd and short situations.
Another offset single back here with 3 wide receivers. More blitzing,
wow.
And this is going to be a fumble. And Portland has a chance to recover and go. Portland past the 40, past midfield to the 46-yard line. Gets stopped in Florida's territory, and a huge play for the Fleet defense.
Bernard Smith read that all the way through. I talked about it earlier, how they were sending pressure off the sides. That time, Florida just happened to call a toss in that direction, and this Portland defense was ready for it. They are fired up right now, Ramos, and we're going to get a challenge here, but I'm pretty sure that's sticking. I'm pretty sure that was behind the line of scrimmage, and it was not forward. That was a heck of a play by Portland's defense. Bernard Smith, kudos to you.
Yeah, let's take a look at retroactive challenge here, brought to you by Retroid, and the ruling on the field stands. That had no chance. It's a toss play. It's not a pass. A toss play is, by definition, pretty much either lateral or, backwards.
That's a huge play. That's a huge play for Portland's defense. You talk about momentum. You talk about the spread in this game, Ramos. That's the kind of play that gives the team momentum. Let's see what they can do here on offense.
So Portland's defense comes up with a huge takeaway here from the I formation. They will give the ball off to Ezekiel Love, who gets bottled up behind the line of scrimmage and actually loses 2 yards. Let's introduce you to the Portland Fleet offense. Cyrus Jive, is the quarterback. Halfback Ezekiel Love is halfback 1. Halfback 2, Scott Johnson, with a fullback, Jacob Farmer. Wide receivers are Israel Adams, Michael Knight, Ryan Davis, and Terrell Cooper. The tight end is Nelson Lozano Jr. And we have a jive on the pass. This one is caught for a gain of about 7 yards to Israel Adams. The offensive line, a full set with Jay Warren, Randy Fatt III, Jacoby Wilson, Tyler Spencer, and Jaden Taylor. The latter one, the center, 3-time All-Star in 5 seasons in the league.
Yeah, and they've got a stacked offensive line here, and they've got a good run game that really should develop, but they're going to have to get the pass involved early like they just did to Israel Adams.
Man in motion is Michael Knight. Man-to-man coverage showing here for the Florida Storm defense. 3rd and 5, rollout, jive to the left, passes deep, and the pass is caught. Israel Adams climbs the ladder for a gain of about 20 yards and a first down. The 6'5", 225 wide receiver has to climb up to make the play.
Yeah, Israel Adams there just on a post. You see that it's just a scissors concept where they've got the inside receiver running a corner route and he's running a post, and just a really good job in man coverage there, jumping up and getting the ball, high pointing it. Really good job there by Israel Adams. That's his 2nd catch, and he's already eaten up a little bit, Ramos.
Getting the better of 15-season veteran Evan Carroll. 6'2", 195 for Carroll, as this is going to be a fake toss now to Ezekiel Love, who breaks the tackle, and a good chase from behind by Daniel Wright, only a 3-yard gain. Let's introduce you to the Storm defense. Deantis Stoneville and Alessandro Tomaello are the defensive ends. Alex Dominguez, the Hall of Famer, and Pete Mitchell are the defensive tackles. Linebackers are Ryan Tobin, Jesus Smith, and Juan Mississippi. We're going to circle back to the secondary in a minute. Jive to throw, jive with time. The pass is going to be caught. Again, Knight for about 4 yards. The secondary, Ryan Davidson, one of the best corners this league has ever seen, with Evan Carroll. We have Adam Jones as well, the cornerback position, and the safeties, Big O Renfro, Daniel Wright, Andrew Francis, and J.J. Bailey form a stacked defense who is trying to make a stop here on 3rd and 1. 4-4 defense showing here for the Storm.
It's Terrell Cooper going in motion down at the bottom of the screen, one-on-one.
8 players in the box here for Portland, and for Portland it doesn't matter here. for the Storm. They had 8 players. It doesn't matter. First down for the Fleet as Ezekiel Love continues to have a strong start.
Ramos, I got to say, I like what I'm seeing out of Portland so far. Cyrus Drive through these first couple passes has looked really poised in the pocket. They're running really good concepts against man coverage, and interested to see what they dial up here.
More man-to-man defense here showing for Florida as Jive will throw him over the middle. The pass is caught. That's Nelson Lozano Jr., one of your keys for this matchup for a gain of 5.
Yeah, again, like I was saying earlier, Nelson Lozano Jr., I mean, we know how good these corners are. We saw it last week with Florida, but Nelson Lozano Jr. is going to be matched up against those linebackers, especially if they're playing man coverage all night. Take advantage of the big man, and we'll see if they go there again.
Draw play goes to Ezekiel Love, who breaks another tackle and gets about 2 on the play. Daniel Wright makes the stop, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3 as this Florida Storm defense tries to make a stop.
Yeah, this is a really, really big 3rd down for Portland. This is a make a stand 3rd down in Florida. Get the crowd, to quiet down here after this big play. Again, stretching Terrell Cooper down to the bottom of the screen.
From the split backs formation, at 22 personnel here for the Storm, for the Fleet.
Good call.
As there's going to be a handoff on the outside. Breaking a tackle is the back. That's going to be Scott Johnson, the number 2 back, 5'11", 215, which is the shortest player on the Portland offense. But a really good one at that, of course. We have a couple of all-stars in the backfield for the Fleet.
Yeah, Scott Johnson's a player that was really, really dominant in the special teams last season. This season he moves back to halfback, and you see right there what he's capable of.
More motion out of the Portland Fleet offense. That's the backup tight end, Dustin Lyman.
They can run to the bottom here.
Yeah, it was going to be a rollout play. Jive gets a block. Jive gets hit and goes down at the 10-yard line as Mitchell makes the sack. First sack of the game for either team.
Yeah, and one of my keys, Ramos, was actually Alex Dominguez, against this Portland offensive line. But Mitchell, I mean, look, you get it done, you get it done. Like, at the bottom line is you cannot allow Cyrus Jive to get flustered, right? You got to keep him in a rhythm early. And let's see how badly this sack hurts them now in the 2nd and goal.
Jive has to be smart here. Obviously, Portland has at least 3 points on the board, pretty much secured as Coop goes from bottom of your screen to top of your screen in the slot. They're going to hand the ball off only to Scott Johnson, and he's going to be stopped after about a half a yard gain. 3rd and goal upcoming.
Pretty conservative call there, don't you think? I mean, what do you think the mindset behind that is, Ramos?
Well, maybe, get about, again, to the 5-yard line, right? Just get inside the 5, see if you can get a block. And, obviously you still have a couple downs to go as Jive will throw. Jive to the end zone, and the pass is picked off by Daniel Wright. Exactly what we were talking about a couple snaps ago. He has to be smart, and the defense makes him pay.
Wow, that is excellent job by the newly added Daniel Wright to this stout Florida secondary. Just a really good job, kind of sitting back in coverage and recognizing the ball's coming towards him and really doing that. Bad decision by Cyrus Jive. It's okay, though. Shake it off. Your defense has already stood tall. Let's see if they can stand tall again.
Coming from Minnesota, who also had a stacked defense. They have had a stacked defense for many seasons, and one of the reasons why was Daniel Wright, and already making an impact. And this pass is going to be bobbled and dropped by Haynes. Not commonly a guy who you will expect to drop a pass, but it's 2nd and 10 upcoming here.
Yeah, you want to talk about a player, Bernard Smith, the one who recovered the fumble on the last drive. That was him coming in to just lay the smack on a really, really big target and Ron Haynes and causing him to break that up. I mean, that's a huge play by Bernard Smith.
Yeah, Bernard Smith, a really good safety. We remember him with the Arizona Scorpions for a bit, and no better guy to learn from than 80 Gage. Bringing his talents to Portland. And Cochran will throw again with the blitz. The pass is caught. Ron Haynes making up for the last play, a 14-yard gain and a first down Storm.
Ramos, I gotta tell you, I think that this Cochran to Haynes connection, this Ron to Ron connection, is probably second to none in the SFL when it comes to alerts, right? Whenever it comes to having a blitz coming, you've got to get the ball out fast. I mean, they are second to none in the league whenever it comes to chemistry, getting the ball out. I mean, Cochran is showing his veteran ability right now on the field.
Bunch set here for the Storm. The Portland Fleet defense is showing a man coverage, and this is going to be a toss play to Beletsky on the outside. Beletsky breaks a tackle and gets 8 on the play. The outside run, outside of that fumble, has worked pretty well for Florida over this first quarter.
Yeah, I think it all just depends on where Portland's lining up that outside linebacker blitz, right? Because if it hits again, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another one. If it hits again and they're sending to a blitz on the same side as the toss, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. But Florida's doing a good job kind of adjusting around it.
From the strong eye formation, 23 personnel, another toss play, breaking a tackle again, and past midfield, there goes the back as breaks a tackle, and Kaysen goes finally out at about the Portland 47-yard line. Another toss play here for the Storm.
Yeah, and it's really good blocking. That's all you can say, Ramos. It's just really good blocking. There's not much Portland can do. They're sending the bodies there. They're swarming to the football, but the blocking is just so good.
Now we see an empty set with 5 wide receivers. Cochran will throw, of course. The pass inside is going to be incomplete, and Beletsky unable to come up with it. He looked pretty open, and another mishap here for the Storm offense, 2nd and 10.
See, that's huge. That's huge for Portland. You know how it feels, Ramos, to be in a 2nd and long situation. You're kind of behind the chains now. So keep Florida behind the chains, now force them into another empty set. And, you make a play here, and suddenly they're in a 3rd and long situation.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Cochran to throw. Cochran with time. The pass middle is almost picked off again. Another dangerous throw as Leo Morris gets the pass deflection.
Yeah, you can tell Florida is attacking these safeties, and so far, Leo Morris and Bernard Smith are up to the challenge.
Now 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Beletsky back in the backfield as a single back, 4 wide receivers for the Storm offense. Play action, rollout. Cochran all day. Cochran passes deep, and the pass is caught in double coverage. Wow.
Ramos, I don't know how he came down with that, but Caleb Giffis averaging 100 yards per game. Another one of my keys to this game was going to be Caleb Giffis and Art Vandelay at the wide receiver position, because they're both averaging 100 yards per game right now. You see why right there. I mean, for Portland, I don't think you could be in any better coverage than that. I mean,
you really can't.
You can't. I mean, you had a guy in man coverage, and then you had another safety, trying to, jump in front of it, but that's rough.
End of the first quarter, Portland nothing, Florida nothing. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by 8 p.m. Music right here on YouTube. Both defenses have played pretty well. I mean, Florida has been able to move the ball, but Portland had that crucial takeaway on the first possession. Now with an offset single back again. Toss play to the right. Beletsky with the block. Beletsky gets 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 upcoming. Let's send it over to Cameron Irvine. Before we go, let's send it over to Cameron Irvine for our game break update. Cam, what you got for us?
Thanks, Ramos. An exciting game going on in San Antonio. Type attack's been killing Alamo City with his legs, but on this one, on the rollout, they forget all about Paulie Truth, who's wide open in the end zone. Seattle leads 14-7. It's Paulie Truth's first multi-touchdown game in the 4K23 era. Back to you in Fort Lauderdale.
Thank you, Cam, as Kaysen gets the handoff, or the toss play actually, and loses a yard on the play.
Yeah, I couldn't see if that was Ricky Phillips or Robert Brar on that, but somebody just, shot the gap on the side there and just absolutely took down, just made a huge play in the backfield.
From the 15-yard line, 3rd down and 8 yards to go. I think we're going to see another play action rollout here, Mike.
Yeah, we could.
And that's
Single
exactly what
safety,
we get.
Yep.
Exactly what we get. Cochran with a time, and the pass is caught. Giffis, touchdown.
It looked like the same play. Yeah, it was the same play. You and I are both thinking it, Ramos. They hit him with the same play, and this time, this was the right call. They had a single high safety, and they had Caleb Giffis coming in on the post, and that safety was already pulled to the side. I mean, that was a perfect play call from Florida. You want to talk about why Florida's 3-0? It's because of situations like that, and even whenever they get the play call, maybe not so good, like on that last Caleb Giffis catch, they still execute and come down with it. That's what makes a really great team, and that's exactly what Florida's doing so far.
Yeah, unbelievable. Again, back-to-back on third down situations, back-to-back calls, same exact play, same target, and about the same result. Big gain, and in this one, a touchdown for Florida. Now they lead 7-0. And, you know, for Portland's offense, my first drive, really nice drive. You know, they didn't have a long field, but even still, I mean, they were able to get all the way to the 5-yard line. You know, unfortunately for them, they did throw that interception in the end zone, but you have to be pretty content if you're a Portland fan, you know, what you saw on the first drive.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with, you know, given Portland's record right now, Portland is not playing like an 0-3 team, right?
No.
This is, so far, Portland has been great, minus the one turnover by Cyrus Jive, and this is where it is so crucial for them to come out again, first down, just reset, you know what I mean? Have the memory of a goldfish. Cyrus Jive, get back into a rhythm and just keep driving the football. Win 5 yards at a time. That's it.
From the I formation, Nelson Lozano on the right side. That's a strong side of the field. And they will throw Jive with pressure. He goes to Nelson Lozano, but an incompletion. Good blitz called there by Florida, but also a good decision by Jive to throw it quickly, recognizing the blitz. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, I like that he tried to get it to Nelson Lozano there just on the out route, but good recognition by Florida's defense, too, the corner to kind of back up and play, you know what I mean, outside into that route. So really good job by Florida's defense.
Split backs formation for Portland. 4-3 defense for the Storms, and another blitz. Jive with time. Jive, the pass middle, and it's almost picked off by Daniel Wright again, and that's a misfire for Jive as he overthrew his receiver, who was relatively open.
Yeah, he had his receiver on that one. It looked like Terrell Cooper was on a slant route going across, and he had, you know, outside coverage or outside leverage on the defenders, but just a little bit of an errant throw by Cyrus Jive.
Bunch formation here for Portland, and Jive will throw. Jive tries to scramble and goes down as Alessandro Tomaello gets the sack. And a quick 3-and-out for the Portland offense.
And this is what you don't want to see, because at this time, I mean, I would have loved to see a run on that drive. You know, even if it was like a 2nd and 10, right? You just run a draw play or something to Zeke or Scott Johnson. Mix it up a little bit. You've got to keep this Florida defense honest.
Chris Moore with the punt from the 32-yard line, and a good return all the way to the 38 is Art Vandelay. And you know, this Florida offense, or this Florida team, excuse me, starting up hot, I mean, basically where they left off from last season. 3 straight wins over, you know, some good competition, man. I mean, you have Baltimore, you have Fort Worth. You know, Charleston is a surprising 0-4, but you know, Charleston has also been, you know, in the cusp of winning a couple games. And trying to get their 4th win in a row, as Bullet Beletsky again is loose for a gain of 9.
Yeah, and that just comes down to allowing the offensive line for Florida to get to the 2nd level. That you can't allow that. If you're Portland's defense, you gotta, you know, I don't care. You maybe pinch the defensive line, or you know, bring your linebackers up. Do whatever you can, but you cannot allow Beletsky to run all night through the tackles, between the tackles.
I formation again, and Chris Komisak is going to get a couple and a first down. Really liking this play calling here from Coach Vandelay. Mike, you know, mixing the runs and the passes really well, and mixing the runs with all his backs. We've seen obviously Bullet, we've seen Komisak, and we've seen Kaysen as well, splitting carries. Draw play here for Beletsky, it seems, and Beletsky will only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10.
It's a really good play by Robert Brar. But going back to, you were talking about Vandalay. I spoke with him before the game, asked him about the game plan for tonight. He said nothing too exciting. They want to run the ball and win the turnover battle, take care of the ball. On defense, they tried to turn up the pressure on the QB this week and make him uncomfortable in the pocket. That's Florida's game plan coming into tonight. So far, I mean, looks pretty par of the course.
Boletsky was put as a wide receiver, and he gets the catch. Unbelievable snag, not an easy one, for another first down.
How about the idea to stretch? You motion Boletsky out to wide receiver and have him run a corner route? That's like a short corner. That was impressive, kind of finding the empty hole, behind the other defenders. That was a really interesting play call by Florida. Nonetheless, I'm here for it.
Florida feeling confident now. Put 5 wide receivers on the field as Giffis, who has had a sensational first half with a touchdown, is in motion. 5 offensive linemen against 3 defensive linemen. With time, the pass is incomplete. No, it's caught actually by Giffis. A gain of 8 yards the second time.
Caleb Giffis just got bumped 8 yards into his route and turned around and caught that ball like it was. That was unbelievable. You want to talk about one of the receivers I think that are super just underappreciated this season. Caleb Giffis is one of them.
High formation again, put Chris Komisak dunning the eye. This ball will go to him straight up the middle as Chris Komisak breaks a tackle and he's loose to the outside and all the way to the 22-yard line, gets a shoulder down, but another first down, Storm.
Yeah, Chris Komisak doing work between the tackles so far tonight. And, that was Leo Morris coming in to clean up the mess there. But Portland's got to tighten up, get back to what they were doing. I mean, I haven't seen him send the pressure on that outside linebacker blitz since that first drive.
As Coach Love's defense trying to find some answers. And another handoff on the trap play. That's going to be Boletsky for a 4-yard gain on the play. 2nd down, 6 upcoming. And it looks like Florida is really slowing the pace of this game down. They have the ball in their possession, and they're wearing this Portland defense out.
Yeah, it's pretty tactical, exactly what they're doing. They come out and they hit big on the passing game, and then they just death by 1,000 cuts, right? And 2-3 yards at a time, 4 yards at a time. It's hard to stop.
Another toss play. That's going to be Kaysen on the outside, and Kaysen goes past the 15 and actually rule right there at the line of game for a first down.
I think we might get a challenge.
We really could get a challenge here from Portland. We already saw a challenge from Florida that didn't pan out, but looks
might
probably
be saving the timeouts. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe not enough evidence to overturn the call. So, Coach Davis, holding his red flag in the pocket. As Stephen Bush goes in motion. A very quiet game for Bush so far. Cochran will throw. Blitz upcoming. Then the pass is going to be caught by Bush, who breaks a tackle. And Stephen Bush is in the end zone for a touchdown.
Just a really good play call here, Ramos. They motion Bush from the right side of the field to the left side of the field, put him in a drag, right? And, Cochran just literally checks it down to him and lets him do the work. And this is why Stephen Bush has had good numbers so far, because he doesn't have a lot of yards, but he has multiple touchdowns on the season. That shows you why. They get into the red zone, and this is their guy. This is exactly what they do. And breaking 2 tackles there, just unbelievable job by Stephen Bush.
That's back-to-back offensive drives with a touchdown. As Ron Cochran is on a tear right now, and his last 10 passes, 7 of 10, 2 TDs, and over 100 yards as Florida has taken complete control of this game. 14-zip. Storm leads. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It is never too late to get involved. If you're a newer fan, lurking around, you don't know what's going on, welcome to you as well. This is the Simulation Football League's 22nd season. It's hard to believe it's been this many years, but here we are.
It's crazy. Yeah, I think going back to the game, Ramos, I think, if you're Portland here, there's no panic. It's a 2-score game. You know, you're halfway through the second quarter. Get back to the run. They need to get back to the run to open up the passing lanes. They've got to. Florida's secondary has shut the passing lanes down. They need to find some rhythm here.
Only 12 rushing yards so far here for this Portland offense, to your point, as Coop is in motion. Man-to-man coverage here for the Florida defense. Jive will throw. Jive scrambles to the left. Jive pump fakes and goes down again as Deonta Stoneville gets the sack. A 6-yard loss. And a second and very long coming already.
Yeah, that's what you call a coverage sack. I think that, you know, he had the check down in front of him, but there was even a defender on him, you know, in Ezekiel Love or Scott Johnson, whoever it was in the backfield there. It was just man coverage, and it just shows you how good this secondary is for Florida. You got to make a decision, you know, get the ball out, take it and run, throw it away, do what you have to.
Jive to throw, passes over the middle, and this one is incomplete in the double coverage as Francis and Jones combine to sandwich the receiver. 3rd down and 16 upcoming. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There's no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. 3rd down and 16 with a bunch set here for Jive.
This bunch set has been bad news for him so far, Ramos.
And it's probably going to be bad news again as the pass is almost intercepted. And another 3 and out here for this Portland offense, which is absolutely reeling here in the first half.
Yeah, it's like Portland's offense is going into panic mode so early. You know, you got to get back to the run, reestablish some. I mean, look for a big halftime talk, right? Because I think that, you know, the coach over in Portland, Mel Davis, has got a lot to say to his team. I think that, you know, Cyrus Jive has been in the league a few seasons now, and there's no excuse. There's no reason to panic. It's 14-0. It's a 2-score game. Just get your head in the game. Start balancing out the run game. You know, start throwing different things at this Florida defense.
Shout out in the chat goes to Marcus Freeman, newcomer to the SFL. Looks like he has a player set up in the minors. You know, good luck to you, sir, and you know, hope to see you on the field both for the SFLM and then in the SFL. As Gifford goes, yes, sir. As Gifford goes in motion from left to right. Cochran will throw. Cochran against the blitz. The pass is caught, and Ron Haynes gets another 1st down for the Storm.
Every time that they've ran this blitz, every time Portland has ran this blitz, right, it nearly gets home. But Ron Cochran to Ron Haynes is 3 for 3, and that is right over Brody Gulch. I mean, what a throw by Cochran. I mean, the connection is real. I think it's safe to say if that blitz is coming, you're going to get the ball to Ron Haynes, and that's what we've seen so far, Ramos.
11 personnel. Again, another single back set. Cochran will throw. Cochran over the middle. The pass is incomplete this time. Leo Morris with a good stick on Ron Haynes. 2nd and 10 coming up. 3:20 left here in the second quarter.
Defensive coaches preach stepping stones, right? So a stepping stone would be a pass breakup on 1st and 10 like that. You know what I mean? Leo Morris coming in and breaking up a pass. Now it's 2nd and long, right? So let's force them into a 3rd and long. See what they can do here to get Ron Cochran just out of their normal element.
Chris Kalmazak now out of his fullback position, gets the handoff for a gain of 1. 3rd and 9 upcoming. Very important 3rd down here, Mike. You know, you got to focus on Giffis, you know, focus on that play action rollout that has killed the Portland Fleet in 2 opportunities. We'll see a 5 wide receiver set this time, though.
Yeah, and that's
Cochran.
Boletsky in the slot on the left side.
Yes, it is. Cochran all day to throw. The pass over the middle is incomplete as Bernard Smith puts both hands up in a massive, much-needed stop for the Fleet defense. Here on 3rd down, we'll bring up 4th and 9 and a punt.
That's a huge stop. Huge stop for Portland's defense because now you've got 2 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left once you get, you know, after the punt. You get the ball back, you get your offense back on the field. You can lead the offense down the field, maybe even run a little no huddle if you can find a rhythm, right? But, you know, it's a big win for Portland's defense.
This punt by Marcus Agrippa goes to the 15-yard line as the returner stopped right there. And we'll see the Portland offense try again. Ever since the first drive of the game, I mean, Portland has really, on offense, gone backwards. And, surprisingly enough, the offensive line of the Portland Fleet is the one who has gotten the worst side of everything. 3 allowed sacks so far.
So they just split the defensive line, right? You've got a perfect opportunity. You're out of eye spread right now. What's stopping you from running at the A gap right now? Picking up 5 or 6 yards and then running into a hurry up.
That's exactly what they will do from the draw. Really nice stop, though, on the open field by one Mississippi. 6'1", 230.
You can dial it up, Ramos, but, at the end of the day, one side's going to execute a little better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But again, I agree with your assessment. You have to establish some sort of running attack, especially when you have 2 future Hall of Fame backs.
Looks like they're sending pressure off the edge right here, and they've got 2 tight ends. They've got, 2 receivers over to the side now.
Yeah, and again, the pressure comes quickly as Cyrus Jive just tosses it to the ground. 3rd down and 8 upcoming, and this Florida defense just has been relentless on the blitz.
They're so quick to the quarterback, Ramos.
Yeah.
So quick.
Bunch set again, and as you said, I mean, this has not been the best of news for the Portland Fleet throughout the first half.
Yeah, it just seems congested. We don't see anybody breaking away from routes here, and it's just taking the routes that they have in there taking too long to develop.
The one breaking away instead is number 93, Pitt Mitchell, for the sack. I mean, this is his second sack of the game. Yeah, and Pitt Mitchell, man, he's not a very big guy. I mean, with the number 93, he's more like John Randall. I'm not sure if you saw John Randall play for the Vikings and the Seahawks for many years. 6 foot, 280. But, man, he's quick. And that's exactly what made number 93, John Randall, so hard to stop for, a decade plus.
That's what we're seeing out of Pete Mitchell here tonight. It's absolutely, shout out to you. 2 sacks, Pete Mitchell. Keep balling, because Florida's defense is showing exactly why they're 3-0 right now.
Another punt is from the Portland Fleet, and again, some space for the return past midfield to the 48 of Portland side of the field. This is something that Florida has been really good at in this game. Field position battle is just pretty much about 80% of the snaps we've seen in this game are in Portland side of the field.
Yeah, and it's killing. The field position is half the battle, right? If you're playing with bad field position, it's really, really difficult if you have to, go the entire field. And on the other side, if you're Florida and you're starting at the 50-yard line, hey, you really only have to pick up 2 first downs before you're in field goal range.
Cochran with all day to throw in a one-handed reception. A one-handed snag by Art Vandelay, and that's been the biggest difference in the game, Mike. It's the protection. Florida's Ron Cochran has gotten all day to throw throughout the first half, whereas Cyrus Jive doesn't even have time to breathe.
That's exactly right, Ramos. I think that's exactly what it comes down to. Portland's sending the pressure, but Florida's just doing a really good job picking it up. Great job by Florida's offense putting together some really good route concepts.
Single back formation, Cochran again. Cochran with a clean pocket. The pass to Ron Haynes is a first down, actually 1st and goal at the 10-yard line, as Florida will call their 2nd timeout off the half. Remember, they lost 1 timeout on that challenge that didn't work. But yeah, man, it doesn't matter if it's the 1980s or the 2020s. When an offensive line is manhandling a defensive line, chances are you're going to win the game.
Sending pressure up top again.
Yep, offset single back, maybe a toss. No, it's going to be a pass. It's going to be a screen. Bullet Beletsky with the ball, and he goes out of bounds at the 7-yard line, stops the clock with 1:14 left in the half.
Yeah, it was a good play. You got to say, good play by Portland's defense. You send pressure from one side. A lot of the times, whenever you're sending pressure from one side, it's really easy for a back to kind of break out on that opposite side. So really good job by the linebacking core for Portland to kind of swarm to the football and force them out of bounds.
Offset single back again, and Cochran will throw again. The pass over the middle is caught. Stephen Bush, 2nd touchdown of the game.
We talked about it earlier, Ramos. Stephen Bush is their guy when they are in the red zone. Steven Bush is the guy in the red zone for this Florida team, and that's why. And look at that one-on-one coverage right there. Just you can't. The ball placement was good. The catch was good. The route was nasty. The separation. There's some receivers, Ramos, that can get that kind of separation. Steven Bush has been proven to be one of them this season.
The extra point will be 21 zip, and the total yards of the second quarter really tell the whole story. 141 to -10. Yes, -10 from the Portland Fleet. And it's just been a rough second quarter for the Fleet, man. I mean, the first quarter, it was kind of 50-50, to be honest. Portland really, was making some good plays on offense and on defense. But, once Florida got settled and they scored that first touchdown, just the entire momentum went on their side. And
well, that's it. That's exactly what it is. Like you're talking about, Florida got settled, and that's the whole problem. If you play Florida, you cannot allow Florida to get settled. So what we saw in the first quarter with that toss play, we've got an injury.
Yeah, Adam Jones, and that's
gonna be big.
probably significant injury. He's the slot corner for the Florida Storm defense. 8th season in the SFL.
They're going to have one of those extra defensive backs step up, like Big O Renfro or Andrew Francis, AJ Bailey, one of those guys.
Yeah, some of them will have to step up for this defense. But again, man, not to undermine it, but with this pass rush, you don't need to do a whole lot as a corner.
Right. They coexist, and they make each other's jobs a lot easier.
From the far formation, it's going to be a handoff to the fullback.
Love that.
Right up the 8 gap. That's going to be Jacob Farmer for a gain of 3 yards. And right now for Portland, it's okay. We're down 3 scores. Let's not, go down even further than that.
Don't force a mistake here. Even if you have to take it into half, don't force a mistake. I'm not for the aggressive mindset. Whenever you've got a whole entire second half to play, like go into half, reset, figure out a different game plan, figure out what's working, what's not working, and kind of come out here because you've proven to get a turnover in the first quarter here against Florida. Do it again to start the second half.
Jive will scramble to the left, and the pass is going to be a check down for a gain of about 5 yards. As that's going to be number 47, Brian Johnson, the backup fullback, with the catch. 3rd down and 2 upcoming. And
so, to my point, what I was saying, Ramos, you can't let Florida get settled. We saw that, and that's why the game was so close in the first quarter, because Portland interrupted Florida from kind of finding their rhythm. So if they can do that in the second half, right, I think that that's when you start seeing things open up, and Portland gets a little bit more success.
Yeah, Zeke Love gets tackled before he gets to the first down marker, so it's going to be 4th and 1. Florida does call a timeout. They do have a really good returner on their side, who has been able to break loose for a couple of pretty decent returns, so you never know.
Just hanging up there for 4 or 5 seconds.
Yes. If I'm Chris Moore, I'm just punting it out of bounds. Just don't mess with a return, as well as going to be a fair catch, and this is going to be bubbled.
Fair catch
interference. 31, but that's going to be, fair catch interference. So.
Wow. Just whenever you think it couldn't get worse. It doesn't. It's just the discipline, right? Because you're already kind of down 21 points, and I think that that's a sign that you're starting to see some spirits go. But hopefully, head coach Mel Davis can take this to the locker room, and the game, it can't end on a penalty. So now Florida gets a free shot.
Yeah, we were gonna have an on-time down, maybe just a run to Chris Komasak here. And that is exactly what we're going to get off the left-hand side. Chris Komasak will go for a gain of 5. And that's how the first half will come to a close. Florida 21, Portland nothing. And, Mike, a game that has been completely dominated by the Florida Storm over the last 11 or so minutes of play. Just want to hear your thoughts of the first half.
So exactly what I was saying, Florida essentially dominated entire second quarter. First quarter, I think, was a little bit different because Portland disrupted what Florida wanted to do, and that's what you have to do. So if you're Portland, and I believe Florida get the ball to start the half, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Florida gets the ball to start the second half.
No, it's actually Portland who does.
Oh, that's right, because the big turnover was on the first drive. Okay. Yeah, so regardless, Portland did a really good job turning the ball over, right? Getting some momentum and trying to drive downfield, ultimately and ended in a turnover. But regardless, whenever you get the ball out here, you can make a statement drive. If Portland comes out to start this second half, they drive down the field because they learned what they can and can't do against this defense, and they get a score and score a touchdown. It's a 21-7 game. I think we're looking at a different picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Ron Cochran, who was flawless in the second quarter. Yeah, absolutely flawless in the second quarter with 3 touchdown passes, is the halftime first half player of note. And again, as you were mentioning, this first drive for Portland is going to be very important for the rest of the game. If they go 3 and out again, if the offense falters one more time, it really can get from very difficult to impossible very quickly. And we're gonna see the kickoff, and out of the back of the end zone, going for a touchback. Let's send it over to SFL HQ for another game break update. Cam?
Thank you, Ramos. Just when it looked like all was lost for Alamo City after a Bryant James interception, J.W. Doyle fumbles the ball. Jay Mart with the forced fumble, his second of the season, to go along with 4 picks. But then Alamo City goes 3 and out the next play. Seattle making a statement, 21-7, up on the road late in the third. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. As Jive goes on a rollout to the left and hits Coop for a gain of about 8 yards. I had a chance to coach Terrell Cooper over the last few seasons with the Aztecs, Mike, and what a great guy, great receiver. Really, came to his own, especially last season, and became one of the main targets for us.
Yeah, I think that he's doing a great job, and Portland's loving sending him around here.
Yeah, this is gonna be a draw play, and man, Mississippi is all over that one. As this is gonna be no gain on the play. 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
Yeah, key for Portland, Ramos, in this drive, stay out of 3rd and long. That's where they've had all of their problems.
3rd down and 2 from the I formation. Jive will call an audible. Run to the left side. Well, Jive will throw again. Jive scrambles to the left side, and Jive gets the first down. First time we've really seen Cyrus Jive able to scramble out of the pocket and actually get positive yardage.
Yeah, look, whenever you can't make it happen with your arm, because this pass rush, make it happen with your legs. That's exactly what he did there. They moved the chains here, and like I said, they cannot get into 3rd and long situation, Ramos. They've got to stay ahead of the chains.
Man in motion on that chance is going to be number 13, Michael Knight, as Daniel Wright follows. Toss play to the left. That's going to be Ezekiel Love at the gap, and Ezekiel Love gets a healthy gain of 4.
See, that's all right, though. You talk about staying ahead of the chains. If you get 4 yards on every play, you're always getting first downs, right? So that's what it's going to take. It's going to take, just little plays like this. It's okay. You don't always have to go for the 20-yard pass, 30-yard pass, You can live and die by these 4-yard plays and really wear out Florida's defense in the process.
The entire state of Florida is in the box, and it doesn't matter as on the outside, Scott Johnson breaks a tackle for another fleet first down.
That's exactly what you want out of your skill position players, especially your running backs. You get them to the outside, make the first man miss, right, and then get to the second level. And that's exactly what Scott Johnson did there. That's why he was such a good return man and special teams last season.
First down, 10 yards to go, 7 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Portland's first drive here of the 3rd. And this drive has been already much better than the entirety of the 2nd quarter here for the Fleet, as this toss play to the outside nets a yard. As on the outside as well is Andrew Francis making the tackle. Andrew Francis, 5'11", 230, 14 seasons in the Simulation Football League.
Veteran.
Yeah, has bounced around between being a safety and being a linebacker throughout his career. And there's going to be a fake dive and a toss play to Scott Johnson, but nothing doing there, as on the outside again is Evan Carroll.
Yeah,
And
Florida's defense was ready for it. They had an outside linebacker blitzing from that direction, and at this point, you got to give up the trickery. This is what I was talking about, Ramos. Are we going to see this bunch set again?
yes, we are. Yes, we are. Let's see if this offensive line can hold up as the Florida Storm defensive line fans to the outside. Jive has time finally. The pass over the middle is caught by Coop for a first down.
That is a great, great play there. And look, this is what you're talking about. Before, Cyrus Jive didn't have 2 to 3 seconds to let that develop. You could see the outside pressure coming there, but yeah, Coop just going down the seam there, and then way to throw it to inside leverage, lead his man inside, exactly where you've got to place that ball in that situation. Cyrus Jive, that's a heck of a throw, and, do it again on first down.
Strong eye formation between receivers on the left, making it pretty much a balanced formation as the fullback will now go as an H-back as Scott Johnson gets the toss and gets another 3-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens whenever that tackle's able to kick out and pick up that block there, because that seems like it's going to be a pretty big lane whenever that happens.
Second down, 7 yards to go. Weak eye.
You can see Florida's defense. There you go.
Yep. Yeah, this is a play that was designed to go off tackle, but a really good job by Ezekiel Love recognizing the blocks, gets back to the A gap, and gets about 5 again.
Every single play on this drive, Ramos, they have literally, the defensive line has spread. See it right there.
Yep. Every single play looks like.
They're telling Portland that, go ahead, try it. You're not going to run it up the A gap.
Let's see if they do this time. They will with a draw play, and Scott Johnson will not get there. Tackle just shy of the line of game, and to be honest with you, I know you want to get points. I will go for this here.
I would go for it too, Ramos. I would be aggressive. I would go for it, but, you can't fault Mel Davis for wanting to, get the points and put something on the board. You had some momentum getting downfield, end it with points, whereas last time they were this close to the end zone, they threw an interception.
This kick will go up and right through the uprights is good as Portland finally gets points on the board. 21-3. Now Florida leads over the Fleet. Have you ever wanted to be a play-by-play or analyst broadcaster? We are looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for the next minor league season kicking off in just a few months. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call. Doesn't matter. I mean, whether you live in the United States or Canada or you can barely speak English like me, doesn't matter, man. You can join the SFL, be a broadcaster, and have some good fun with everybody as this return will go to the 20-yard line. Florida on offense again. And, man, how big will be a Portland stop on defense in this situation?
Oh, it would be huge. It would be huge, Ramos. And by the way, I think you do pretty well for yourself as far as speaking English.
Thanks.
But it would be huge for Portland. It would be everything. If you can get a stop here, get the ball back, and be able to drive downfield, make it 21-10, we're talking about a completely different game. That starts here on 1st and 10, though. Here's that same blitz.
Same blitz, and Ron Cochran will toss it short, and Ron Haynes will get the catch and breaks a tackle for a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 coming up, and yeah, you call it. I mean, this Portland blitz, has been hit or miss. We did see that fumble, on that toss play. But again, when Florida goes to the opposite side, that's when the problems have been for the Fleet defense.
4 for 4 on that play. Every time Portland calls that blitz, that's a pass, a guaranteed pass to Ron Haynes. Just about.
Yeah, ever since that toss play that resulted in a fumble, Florida has said, you know what, let's just throw it because they really cannot stop it as this run to Chris Komisak just goes for a gain of about 2, 3rd down and 3. This is it right now here for Portland's defense, trying to get the momentum here of the second half, all on their side.
Make a stand here. They've got to send pressure through the gaps.
And Chris Komisak will be bottled up at the line, and he goes down. No gain on the play as Mel Davis and company get the tackle. 4th and 2, and Marcus Agrippa will have to hit the field again.
And that is what you want if you are a Portland fan. That's what you want to see out of your team, right? You go, drive downfield, take 5 minutes off the clock. I know time is sweet and precious right now. Trust me, Portland fans, I hear you. I know your nails are gone. But, right, you get the ball downfield, you get some points, you get Cyrus Jive some confidence, then your defense creates a 3 and out against this potent Florida offense, and now you've got the ball back again in Cyrus Jive's hand, who has confidence, right? They have a little bit of a rhythm. So let's see what happens here on 1st and 10.
From the 32-yard line of Portland's side of the field, we'll see Cyrus Jive and company again. Still ways to go here in this game. 3rd quarter, 3:40 left. Handoff goes to Ezekiel Love off tackle, and Ezekiel Love gets 2 on the play.
Yeah, I like the play call there. I really do. I think that, could have been a little bit better blocking, but, this is a stout Florida defense. But at least you're trying to establish the run, and look at the corners now. Look at the defensive backs.
They have to respect that run now. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Near formation, a toss play goes to the back, and a loss of about half a yard as Daniel Wright makes the play. 3rd down and 8 upcoming here for the Fleet.
Yeah, you hate to see that. The blocker just wasn't able to get out there and set the lead block in time. So it was just a blown-up play by Florida's defense, but nonetheless, good job. Here's that bunch set again. Do we see that seam pass again to Terrell Cooper?
Do we see that? Can the offensive line protect its quarterback as this pass will go to the outside, and that's Coop. And that's Coop for a 1st down. Working on Ryan Davidson, one of the best corners, again, the SFL has ever seen. One-on-one, the offensive player gets the better of him.
Yeah, again, well, so listen, this is what's interesting. The same bunch formation. This time, instead of being in the bunch, in the interior of the bunch, they put Terrell Coop one-on-one outside against Ryan Davidson. It's a little risky, but nonetheless, great job.
As we're going to see another handoff to Scott Johnson for a gain of 5. And this has been a huge difference here in the 3rd quarter. 1st down opportunities, getting positive yardage. We saw time and time again in the 2nd quarter, how they will get, sacked for a loss of 3, sacked for a loss of 6. Total yards in the 3rd quarter, Portland 79, Florida 7.
It's huge. It's what the run does. This is what happens when you get the run involved.
And
good
this is what
pass.
happens when you get also your good receivers involved, as another completion to Israel Adams for a 1st.
That's one of the best quick slants I've ever seen. I mean, look at the ball placement on that, Ramos. That is a spot throw if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, absolutely. Working on the bump and run coverage. Able to get a little bit of separation. That's all you need on those quick slants. And a good ball by Cyrus Jive converts from the 35, knocking on field goal range again. And we see Farmer with the handoff, a gain of 1, as Alex Dominguez makes the stop.
Yeah, number 69. They call him Big Sexy. And, man, I'll tell you what, he wreaks havoc on that interior line there. I mean, he just blew up the guard there, really tripped up Farmer on that one, and that's exactly why that play only went for 1 yard.
Split backs formation, 3 wide receiver set. Jive is under center, toss play again. That's going to be Ezekiel Love, and the offensive lineman Tyler Spencer sadly cannot get to the edge quick enough to block Mississippi, who gets another tackle. This one right there at the line. 3rd and 9 upcoming here.
It's so important. If you're going to pull your lineman like that, they've got to be able to have the quickness to get out there.
Jive will throw. Jive middle. The pass incomplete, trying to connect with Ezekiel Love. And a 4th and 9 situation here for the Portland Fleet. They may have to punt on this one. I don't know if they will send out the kicker here for a 51-yarder.
I think they might.
They may as well could, but no, they're going to punt here.
Play defense.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
Trickery. Yeah, I mean, your defense has played well here in the 3rd quarter, so
you just have very, very little room for error.
Yep, Chris Moore will punt this one away, and a fair catch is called at the 12-yard line. So Florida's defense does its job. And let's send it over again to SFL HQ for Cameron Irvine's update. Cam, what you got?
Thanks, Ramos. Late in the fourth quarter, 3rd down and goal. Ace Fennick hands it off to Brad Jones, and Brad Jones has the touchdown. The 2-point conversion is no good. 21-16, Alamo City kicks it deep. They'll play defense. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam, as Ron Cochran tosses it out to Bullet Beletsky for a gain of 3 yards. Second time we've seen Beletsky get a catch off of the slot.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what they dial up here in 2nd and 7. Do you go run here, or do you try and open the playbook up? It looks like they're going run here, but they could be passing out of this set.
We'll have Steven Bush in motion to the outside. Running to the outside as well as Chris Komisak, but opposite side, and Komisak will get the first down, just barely. Remember, folks, the yellow line is not official though, Mike. So
true, there is a little bit of wiggle room there. So yeah. That's just it's just an animation that you're seeing on TV.
Yeah, absolutely. As we reach the end of the 3rd quarter, put your 4s, 12s, 86s, and 68s up in the chat, everybody. 21-3, Florida leads.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
APM Music is on Rival Music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Man in motion going to the right to make it a tray set.
Guess what? That blitz is coming.
Yeah, and Bullet Beletsky goes to the left. A great job on the outside by Brody Gulch for only a gain of 2.
I think that whenever all's said and done, Ramos, the only thing you can chalk this up to is veteran leadership on Florida. I mean, you've got a heck of a quarterback in Ron Cochran that is really able to distinguish, what coverages Portland's sending at him. And
more blitz upcoming, and Ron doesn't matter. I mean, he doesn't care. I mean, Ron to Ron connection again on the blitz has been just money all game long.
Yeah, we've been watching it all game long, Ramos, and look, I mean, right there, that's a tough go. I mean, you've got Ryan Cook, a corner, matched up against a tight end, and Ron Haynes is not a small dude.
No, he's not. I mean, that's what we call a Twinkie player, because he's a Twinkie away from being an offensive lineman. I mean, it really is that simple. As Ron Cochran will set up the screen, and Bullet Beletsky has all room to run. 12 yards on the play and another first down Storm.
Yeah, it's just a really good play call again. I don't know what else to say other than the fact that Florida, I mean, see him with a cowboy hat there. They love to, got some Cowboys down there in Florida. Yeah, I mean, they love to, really just take advantage of what the defense is showing them. Ron Cochran's got such a good eye for coverage recognition and pre-snap reads, and I mean, you just see it in how they play and how he plays, and I mean, you can't ask for more out of your quarterback.
Antoine Kaysen now lined up as a back. Excuse me, it's Avion Kaysen. Antoine Kaysen. Avion Kaysen lineups the back, and Ron Haynes will try to seal the edge of the left side. Toss play goes to Kaysen. Kaysen with a room to run, and Kaysen breaks a tackle. 14, 15 yards, and another first down Storm.
That run starts and ends with Ron Haynes.
Yeah.
It starts and ends with Ron Haynes. If you watch the seal block there, look at him on the screen. Look at him. He pushes one off and goes to find work for another. Maybe he doesn't get there because, he's a little big guy, a little bit of a big gentleman. But regardless, he sealed the edge there, made room for his running back, and that's all you can ask for. Ron Haynes today, I think he's got to be my player of the game.
It's really up there, man. You can go with either run and be correct pretty much. As Bullet Beletsky goes again to the left-hand side, this toss play has killed the Fleet defense. Another 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, it's really it's a rough go because Portland's playing man defense, right? And they're saying, okay, if you're playing man defense and we're going to have an unbalanced, formation, then you're going to have one guy out on an island here, and we're going to trust our guy to make the block.
Toss play again. Kaysen with the ball. Kaysen first down.
It's unreal, Ramos. It's unreal. This team is so well coached, and this team just executes so well, right? They're not doing anything flashy. They're not doing anything flashy. They put 21 points on the board, but it's how they get every single yard just so well executed.
We may see it again. Ron Haynes in motion to the left.
Look at, he's going to seal it again. Look, 22 and 24 blitzing right here, and he's going to seal the edge right here.
Oh, they're going to throw a wrinkle on it, and Ron Haynes has the catch for a first down.
Are you kidding me?
Perfect play call. I mean, you toss it to the left, you toss it to the left, you toss it to the left. Now you throw to the right, crossing.
And look
Ron
at 71 on the blitz pickup. Did you see that? Look at 71. Yeah. I'm unbelievable. I mean, it's just so well executed. I just don't. I mean, listen, it makes you happy as a football coach to watch football like this from one side. Yeah, of course, we wanted to see a little bit closer of a contest. Portland, and you're not out of it yet. You still 7 minutes, but you got to stop Florida, and it's going to be hard to do whenever you keep sending. Look at it's another blitz play. Same thing.
And now a draw play goes to Bullet Beletsky and a gain of 2 yards. And now it's time, I think, for Florida to continue to milk the clock. They're up 3 scores. And with 6.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter, they have the chance to, take away another couple minutes off the clock if they don't score immediately. I mean, it's a great drive here for Florida after having a pretty, underwhelming third quarter. Now in the fourth quarter, they're just dominating, and Bullet Beletsky will go again for a gain of 2.
That's a great tackle there by 31. That's a really, really good tackle by Ryan Cook. You hold him to a third down. If you can hold them to 3, that's a win for Portland's defense because they've been moving the field at will, doing whatever they wanted to on this drive.
Bunch set on 3rd down and 6.
I'm looking at that linebacker. Yep.
Cochran on the play action rollout, and the pass inside is incomplete.
Yeah, they sent the heat from the inside, and 24 was able to pick on it. Chris Stock is able to pick up on it and be able to you see him there shading, just really good job. He was in perfect position on coverage in that. Just on inside leverage, just knowing where that ball was going to be thrown, and, way to make a really good play on that ball.
4th down and 6 yards to go as we see Ethan Sneed trying his first field goal of the game. And the kick is up and good, no problems for the kicker. 24-3 Florida over Portland. This Monday is the 12th, and that means we are remembering our greatest number 12, Matt Wilson, on a special Monday night spectacular doubleheader starting with Arizona, Indianapolis, and finishing in Mexico City for a throwback night with the Jacksonville Kings and Aztecs. This week in the SFL starts off the night with a weekly recap at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Legends never die in the SFL.
I think Mr. Matt Wilson himself would agree about the performance of Ron Cochran tonight. I mean, this is something else, man.
Yeah, absolutely. As do we on the coaching. I mean, this has been a coaching clinic here from the Florida Storm. I mean, it's not a 50 burger that they're putting on, but they're doing everything they have to and more, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the way they're doing the little things. That's what makes the team great.
Absolutely. Split backs formation with 3 wide receivers. Toss play to the left goes to Ezekiel Love, and he will get tackled for a 1-yard loss. I mean, I'm telling you, Juan Mississippi has, been underratedly one of the best players in this football game.
Yeah, and not just a football game, in the league. I mean, Juan Mississippi has been around for a little while, and he is one that's known as sideline to sideline, right? So he's able to get, shoot to the outside and be able to make those tackles and really cover. His closing speed is great, getting out there to the running back.
Jive to throw. Jive, nobody open. The pass is intercepted. Daniel Wright's second interception of the night. And that's a nail in the coffin here from the Florida Storm to the Portland Fleet's aspirations.
Yeah, it's rough. You hate to see it. Especially because your first quarter looked so promising for Portland, but that's just Cyrus Shive going into panic mode. I think if you're Portland looking at this, Ramos, moving forward, I think you've got to be in a mindset of how can we just stay ahead of the chains? How can we just stay ahead of the chains? That's all it is, because whenever Portland's playing ahead of the chains, they look great, right? They look really good. The balance and play calling's there. Everything's there. But how can we just continue to stay ahead of the chains? That's got to be Portland's task going forward and moving forward. 0-4, not, wouldn't be the ideal start if they were to lose this game. But, there's always room.
It's going to be a draw play to Bullet Beletsky, a gain of 5 yards. And yeah, sadly for the Fleet, I mean, this has been a rough start of the season, rough first month. When you look at the last games, they lost by 18 against Vancouver in week 1, lost by 16 in week 2 against Louisiana, and then lost by 20 against San Diego. And, the offense has not put up more than 10 points on the board in either game. So, this offense, really talented offense, really needs to find, their rhythm and their groove and consistency more so than anything.
I think you hit it on the head there. They've got talent. They've got talent on the offensive side. We've seen Scott Johnson make people miss. We've seen Ezekiel Love carry defenders for 4 or 5 yards. We've seen Terrell Cooper go down the seam and high point footballs. We've seen, Israel Adams, on the quick slants and just the timing routes. We've seen all of it. We've seen everything that you need to win a football game. The whole thing that we're missing is just piecing it together one play at a time and just winning, 4 yards at a time. That's all Portland has to do for now on.
3rd down and 2. Milking the clock is Florida. Toss play again.
Look at Ron Haynes up top. Look at him blow that block
just
up.
An absolute bulldozer, as well as Bullet Beletsky going all the way to the 11-yard line. But man, take it away. This blocking is sensational.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, you put Ron Haynes on an island. You motion him out to the top of the screen at wide receiver, which automatically you look at his receiving yards. If you're a defender for Portland, you're like, oh, we gotta watch him on the pass. But nope. What does he do? Just blows up a defender in the run game and just clears out an entire half of the field for Bullet Beletsky.
Under 4 minutes left here in the 4th quarter, Florida, they it was a tug and war in the 1st quarter. 3rd quarter, Portland was finding their footing, but 2nd and especially 4 quarters, where champions win their rings in the 4th quarter. It's been a flawless performance from the home team. Defending champion Florida Storm. Handoff goes to Komisak, who gets about 2 on the play.
Yeah, it's really been good, man. It's really been something, because Florida is just, like we said, it's not any way that they're doing they're not doing any crazy big plays. We've seen a couple of explosives, right? But for the most part, it's how they're doing the little things. That's the whole difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you win championships, on the details. Sometimes it's the plays that you don't even pay attention to. 2nd down and 8 from the I formation. Handoff goes to Chris Komisak to the right side. Komisak just absolutely destroys a poor defender. I didn't even see the number, and I don't want to say it because I don't want to embarrass him.
Oh, God.
3rd down and 3.
Oh, no, it was 29. Leo Morris, who's had a pretty good game. He's been in a lot of really
he's a good player.
He is a great player, and he swarms to the football. He's made a lot of good plays, but sometimes you're not always on the right side of that interaction. So, that's just how it is. And look, I mean, Portland's defense, I think that they have a lot that they can do. Starting with this 3rd down here, hold them to another 3-point stand. I mean, this would be another big stand for confidence for Portland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, you just got to build, some confidence in just whatever you can get. Cochran from the I formation tosses it out. Komisak will get bottled up and stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 4th and 3 upcoming, and this should be the last play before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, see, just like that. I mean, you force them into a 4th down, and even though it's not, again, it's not doing anything for the sake of you winning the game, but it is doing something for the confidence of your team, because this Portland team is is a competent team that can really compete. And I think that it's just Portland gets in their own way. That's what they've done tonight. They've gotten in their own way. They've hit the panic button too soon. And that's what they got to get out of.
We get to the 2-minute warning. Florida 24, Portland 3. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by 8 p.m. Music right here on YouTube. Yes, Ethan Snead will try his second field goal of the game. This one also a chip shot. 27-3, and we talked early in the game, before the broadcast kicked in. We saw, man, at least I did. Man, Florida minus 20.5. Man, I don't know about that. This is the Simulation Football League. I understand Portland has struggled. Florida is the defending champions, 3-0. All that. I get it. I was like, man, 20.5, and man, Florida has just been absolutely sensational on both sides of the ball, and they really put in another statement. Let's send that over to SFL HQ one last time. Cam?
Thank you, Ramos, for all the marbles. Alamo City at the 15-yard line, down 21-16 for the win. No! Deflected by TJ Frosty at the goal line, and the Nemesis hold on in San Antonio. Back to you guys. Will Portland cover in Fort Lauderdale?
Thank you, Cam. They will need a touchdown here to cover. Osiris Jive has some time, goes to the outside and incomplete, trying to connect with Coop again. 2nd and 10 coming up. So, and what a great win here for the Nemesis, Mike. I mean, it's on the road as the underdog, and now they're 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great win for Seattle. They needed a big win, especially against ACA. And don't let that record of ACA fool you, because they're still a top dog.
Oh, yes. Yes, we know what ACA represents. It's, it's just the nature of also being in the South Division, which, has Fort Worth and, has Houston, who was playing some great ball. It's not an easy division. I can surely attest to that.
I was about to say, a little bit something about that.
Man, yeah, when they realigned divisions, I was like, man, maybe I get lucky and I don't get Fort Worth and ACA, but no. No, that didn't happen.
Shout out Cam back at SFL HQ. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I mean, Portland, you gotta make something happen. For confidence, take it to the. It would be nice to go down, downfield and get a confidence drive, if you will, at the end of this game. But Florida's defense is unbelievable. It's a good play right there.
Yeah, across his body, completes for a first down. That's one of Cyrus Jive's best plays of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a really good. I mean, you had a guy in man coverage, and what do? You send him on a drag or a dig across the field, and let that man play trail technique, and it's just, you lead it in front of him, and that's exactly what he did across his body, like you said, which is a hard throw to make.
Yeah, you need a lot of arm strength to get there on time and not get intercepted. I mean, how many times do we see throws across the body get picked off?
Oh, yeah.
Will throw again. The pass incomplete, almost actually picked off. Israel Adams off his hands. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it looked like that same quick slant route. There's just that timing route, and you could tell. It's a little bit of a disconnect. Between Cyrus Jive and his receivers tonight. It's just not on the same page. The good news is we're not even halfway through the season.
Yeah.
It's a long season. There's a lot left in front of us.
Jive will throw again. Jive over the middle, incomplete to Michael Knight. I mean, this is a Portland Fleet offense, Mike, that they're pretty. I mean, some guys are veterans, but together, I mean, they have not been around for a very long time. Jive is a 4th-season guy, but then you have guys like Scott Johnson, only 2nd season with the Fleet. Michael Knight, only 2nd season. Even Ryan Davis, 3rd season. Terrell Cooper, 3rd season. I mean, we have guys who are very good, but they are not gelled together just yet. And this is going to be another interception by the Storm defense. Evan Carroll just putting a bow tie on, which is just an unreal performance by this defense.
Yeah, and I didn't see who Evan Carroll was working on. He was working on, is that Israel Adams? Oh, right, sorry, that's Ryan Davis, yeah. Yeah, just really good job Evan Carroll and man coverage with Ryan Davis, and just it's been rough, man. I think I didn't see if it was the bunch set. I was looking at looking at my roster sheet off the side whenever that play snapped, but if it was that bunch set, it's been problematic just because of the route concepts and how long they take to develop.
It looks like it was more of a tray set, but
Okay.
the schematics are pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
With the bunch set, you do have a guy, on top, obviously the middle guy. Normally he's the one breaking the bump and run coverage. That way the other receivers can break loose. It's really good for like crossing routes and speed outs from the inside.
Especially with the tray, you've got that tight end out there too.
Exactly. So you have a big body.
I'll tell you what, man. This is why diversity is so important in playbooks, because it is so important. It's so crucial that the problem, Portland's third and long defense tonight, they had such slow developing routes. And Florida's pass rush was too good to allow those routes to develop. So their coverage, any team can cover for 3 seconds, right? So if your pass rush can hit home in 3 seconds, that's what they tell you. If your pass rush can hit home in 3 seconds, you're good. Right? You cover for 3 seconds. You start getting up to 5 seconds, you're asking for a lot. So, Portland just needs quicker developing routes out of those sets and those third and longs. You do that, you start adding diversity in those formations, and, sky's the limit. They've got all the talent in the world.
This this Florida Storm kneel down will not kill the clock. They will punt it for one last time, and that's going to end the game. And, going back to your point, offensive line and defensive line, that's where you win 95% of games.
Oh, yeah.
If your quarterback is on his back, it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is. If he's on his back or her back, you're not going to win many games. So it all comes down to that. And when you look at the stats, how many times was Cyrus Jive under duress? He got sacked 4 times, but how many times he was under duress just with pressure? In the opposite, side of the spectrum, Portland really with, little to no pressure, 0 sacks. And that was a big determining factor on this game, because after that you press, right? And then you throw it in double coverage, and, you get intercepted all over the place. So that's something that Florida has done ever since their inception, to be honest. They've done it for 15 years now. Or 15 seasons now.
Yeah, and that's why they're one of the best. One of the best to do it. Former champions off this past season, and we'll see what this long Hail Mary can do. Not much.
It doesn't do much. Cyrus Jive just tries to connect deep with one of his receivers, and that's going to be the end of the ball game. Florida 27, Portland 3. A dominating performance by the Storm at home, and I just want to hear your final thoughts and your player of the game.
Oh, player of the game, no doubt, it's Ron Haynes for me. He was all over the field. He was everywhere, blocking, receiving, doing everything that you want out of your tight end. You can make a case for Ron Cochran, obviously, but, man, Ron Haynes, seriously, for me, was all over the field tonight and just completely dominated this Portland defense.
Yeah, I will actually, go with the other Ron. I'll go with Ron Cochran, player of the game, 17 of 23. Over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, very importantly, no interceptions. I'm telling you, man. Ron Cochran, Ron Haynes, Ron Weasley, it doesn't matter. All of them are magical, man. Absolutely sensational performance here by the Florida Storm all throughout. I can even go Juan Mississippi was sensational. I can go Pete Mitchell breaking havoc middle of the field. It was absolutely great. Stephen Bush with 2 touchdowns. Bullet Boletsky, great as always. But that's going to do it. Absolutely, man. That's going to do it for us. From DR Sim and Ron Haynes, our producer Cameron Irvine, and Mr. Mike O'Neill, I was Ramos Lynn. Thank you very much for watching the SFL's Week 5 of Season 22. Your final score, Florida 27, Portland 3. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.